All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back in the same seats for episode 3.
By popular demand.
By popular demand, resounding feedback. Boys, what's going on?
Not much. Good games to watch this last week, and excited for the schedule to come. It's always fun watching the Bruins around Christmas time. I feel like we have a ton of matinees to watch, so loving it.
Absolute slog of a schedule coming up, but it's, the nitty-gritty of the season here.
Same story, new day for the Boston Medical Center Bruins, just really grinding it out through the injury bug.
Yeah.
Before we jump in, though, thanks to everyone who's tuned in to the first couple episodes. Really appreciate the feedback, just for even putting us on, and having us in your AirPods is probably a little insane, but we appreciate it. Yeah, completely ridiculous.
Yeah, and we're gonna need feedback on the intro to the podcast. Like if it's annoying, just let us know. We'll take it out.
Yeah, intro, outro, whatever it is, we're open. Find us on Twitter. Our buddies text us and just open up the barrels. Like, don't hold back. Mike might cry, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Sensitive guy.
Hey, it's okay. B-Cam, you've been doing some homework.
Yeah, the 2015 draft, I think, is a very daunting one for the Bruins because I think it's going to go down as the best draft of all time. We have Eichel, McDavid, like top 2, and then you have like Barzal, Shabbat, Shevchikov, DeBrus. Like all these dudes are in there, and the Bruins had 3 first-round picks in a row, as we know, 13, 14, 15. So I went through it, and I'm trying to be pro Don here. I'm trying to get an understanding of what happened from the trades. Like the picks didn't go the way that we wanted to, but like where did it lead us to, and did we get some players back? So 2015, Lucic, we trade him to LA. They get 13th overall. They flip Martin Jones for another first-round pick, and that's where the third one comes into play. We did lose Colin Miller to the expansion draft with Seattle, though, which obviously stunk.
He wasn't the player that he was at the time, though.
He wasn't. That's a very fair point. But like if we just kind of saw it through, I think that would have been huge. Like he would be a great top 5 defenseman. But that's besides the point. So then we get the 29th pick in the 2016 draft from Martin Jones, and we actually take Frederick with that pick, which is kind of hilarious. And then we take Zaboral, and then we took Zaboral with I think it's the 14th pick, and we flipped him for Andrew Peeke in a 3rd-round pick in 2027.
That looks really good now.
It does. But that pick could have been Shabbat or Barzal. So, but let's stay here. Let's stay here.
Cooking.
So then we trade Freddie to the Oilers this past year. They get a 2025 second-rounder from St. Louis, Max Warner, who's on the Providence Bees, and a 4th-rounder in 2026. Warner is in Providence and seems to be okay. So like whatever, we're gonna consider that a win of a trade for the Bees. But we did trade Dougie Hamilton. I see some raised eyebrows over there. That's a win, right?
What is he? I think he's like the 3rd pair. Dion on the baby Bees.
Keep cooking though. Why don't you finish? Finish.
Second rounder from St. Louis. St. Louis stinks this year. Could be a high pick. Something to think of.
I like that.
For the 2015 draft, we also traded Dougie Hamilton to Calgary, and we got 15, 45, and 52. They took Zach Senchen, who I think saw under 10 games as a Bruin in his entire career. JFK from BU, I don't think he played more than 5 games, and he went back to Sweden. And they took like Lauzon, who I loved Lauzon. He was an animal. And actually we lost in the expansion draft to Seattle, which that would have been huge if we had him and Colin Miller. Nonetheless, they then went on to trade Senchen to the Senators, and they got Jackson Edward, who is on the Providence Bees, 6'2", 200, complete unit, and I think he's going to be on the Bees probably starting next year. So that's where I'm starting to think there's some wins here that we can actually dive into. Bees lose to DeBrus to Vancouver. Obviously, we don't see any compensation of that. But the Bruins also did take Carlo in that draft as well in the second round, which was a huge
Mhm.
win for the Bees. That's which later turned into Fraser Minton, well, Will Zeller. I'm sorry, Fraser Minton and a first round pick that could be top 10 next year. So that's where we're seeing some wins. Where we didn't see wins though is we did miss out
Oh
on
boy.
Sebastian Aho, Rupe Hintz, Vince Dunn, Kirill Kaprizov. Zaka was also top 6 in that draft. Hannafin, Werenski, Timo Meyer, Rantanen. And we
That's
missed out
it?
on Barzal, and we missed out on Barzal, Shabbat, Eriksson Ek, and Svechnikov. So that's my lineage with everything. But we also have to think about the Charlie Coyle trade, and we got Will Zellers. So like there's a bunch of wins scattered in there, and I'm rambling now, but I needed to just find some peace in this 2015 draft.
One thing.
Dave, do you want to take this first?
Yes, say we draft Barzal, Shabbat, and the 75 other very, very good guys who came after those picks. How are we going to pay them? So maybe we avoided a future us problem.
I'm
Silver
with you.
lining?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, like, listen, like, I think Don is making up some ground here. I mean, it's hard to come back from not taking at least two. Like, even if they did DeBrusque and Barzell and like the third pick Sension, like, I don't care. Like, as long as like we get at least one of them.
You had to hit on one. You had to hit on one.
Yeah.
Mike, your brain waves were cooking. What do you have?
So it would have been good to debut this with our first calls from an angry Bruins fan, because this is just gonna go right up
Yeah.
so many ass. Like, hearing that, I love the take.
Yeah.
But you can't quantify how many cups we would have won with all these additional guys. Yeah,
I
it's
know.
great. This is 10 years later. But if we have maybe even one more player, maybe if we hit on a second guy, not even all three,
Yeah.
a second guy, Barzal, like, he's playing with Krejci, he's lighting it up. They go. I don't know if they're challenged in the Stanley Cup Finals, you know, and that if we
I
lose
agree.
them, we lose them. But I think you win in 2019, no brainer. Should have won that anyways. But maybe you even win in the 2020 shortened season. I think you win that for sure, just
Yeah.
off talent alone. And then 21, who knows how many guys you would have kept, to your point, Dave, but you just have so many weapons. I think
know.
you missed out on max 3 cups because of how bad that draft is.
Yeah.
And that's
No,
the
I
problem.
I don't
get
disagree
that,
with you.
but
I don't disagree with you. I don't.
So I
It's
like
hard.
what you're trying to
No,
do.
it's like I'm trying to get over it. I mean, it's been now 10 years, and it's like you've never seen in any major sport 3 first round picks in a row, and it just happened to be the best draft in NHL history, and we somehow just like didn't get it done.
And I get
Just
that,
didn't
like,
get it done.
Sweeney, he took over, what, a month or a couple weeks before that draft. So, okay, fine. You get a little leeway there. But at the same time, it's like that was the epitome of dropping the ball right there. It's sink or swim right there, and we sank so
Yeah.
far down. And Neely gets so bent out of shape whenever it's brought up in like pressers at the end of the year or anything like that. He goes full Seabass and just starts short circuiting. He's like, enough about the 2015 draft. It's like,
Well,
dude,
it falls on him though. He's in the driver's seat.
he's the
Right.
president.
If
Those
Yeah.
guys have jobs for life. Like,
Yeah.
they really do. They are in the boys club with the Jacobs. And I don't, if, this is just us talking shop here, not trying to get in the press box or anything, but that's the reality of it. You see how they snap at like all these reporters and everything when they go into the room at the end of the year pressers or anything. Anytime there's something, remotely controversial or something wrong, these guys are taking it personal and, what is going on with this? We got a job to do. I'd like to see you do a better job. It's like, come on, man.
But they can
I
say
know.
and do whatever they want, and nothing's going
can.
to happen. And
can.
especially here, like, it's just over and over again. But hey, you know what? To be Cam's point, maybe it wasn't that bad.
Because you have to start to trick your brain into being like, okay, they signed Morgan Geeky, who's, we can obviously dive into that, but 5.5, he's tied with Nathan McKinnon for the most goals. Like, he was a diamond in the rough, and they found it. And then you get like Andrew Peak in that Zamora trade. I don't even know why Columbus even did that. Doesn't really make a ton of sense to trade Andrew Peak and a draft pick for Zamora. I don't even know if he ended up playing for Columbus or not.
He's young too.
Yeah. So like I'm just trying to wrap my head around the whole thing.
Well, if you remember, the Zaboral pick actually, I don't think was that terrible because it was maybe his third or fourth year in the league when he kind of started to get his legs under him.
Yeah.
But then he got hurt. He got hit from behind. I think it was the Minnesota Wild game and got super bad concussion and missed maybe 40 games, something like that, half the season or something.
Yeah.
And he was never the same player when he came back.
No.
So, I mean, how many cases of that do you get in the NHL with X amount of players, though? So
Well, because
like
he
that.
could skate, he could close on guys, and like once he got it going and was able to keep up, saw the speed, he could have been before he kind of ran into the wall a little bit there. Like he could have
literally and
figuratively something could have amounted there.
Not funny. No, I mean, but like to your point, Mikey, I think he tore his ACL shortly after the bad concussion too. So like,
was that what it was? Was it an ACL? I thought it was.
I know he tore his ACL. I know he had some knee damage there. So like that can obviously alter.
Maybe that's what it was.
Did you check the facts, or do we just let it slide?
No.
We just know it's categorized as an injury that derailed his career.
Could have been one of many things.
Yes.
Body injury.
But we'll speculate.
But anyways, we have the facts now on the 2015 draft. It is what it is. What could have been. I mean, it's salt in the wound, the fact that it went like 3 in a row and then like Barzal went like the next pick. Like that hurts. That like stings. But
it's a good
it is what it is.
BCam. I do like it. I'm curious to see voicemail from an angry Bruins fan next week after this airs.
I'm sure someone's going to come at you, BCam, firing.
Which is fine because I mean we talked about the first round draft picks of the last 10 or so years, and we went through a little bit of the ranking of them, and it's not great. I mean it's Zaboral, DeBrusk, Senshin, McAvoy, Friedrich, Euro, Vakanainen, and John Beecher are like the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 first round draft picks.
Yeah,
like,
and I mean, come on and change our mind, embrace debate, right? If you have something to say about a ranking,
leave a voicemail.
Yeah, leave a voicemail. Call the hotline.
Yeah, and Mikey, I did like your take. Like Euro does get a bump up on the ranking or his draft, or I'm sorry, his grade that we gave him for that draft pick solely because of I think you had tweeted at me.
He was a piece in the Lindholm trade.
He was. So and his name is sweet too. So like he obviously gets
the vowel guy.
Yeah, just all vowels.
Well. While we were talking Barzal, I think we talk about that Islanders game.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good segue.
From the 20s. You like that? I have to say, first impression, because he was quick that night. And there were a few shifts that Aspero was out there, and he was keeping pace, like stride for stride. And I'm on the train on the Aspero side of things. There's people chirping the decor out there. Peak, not talked about enough. Another guy who we got by trade as a result of the 2015 draft, which somehow always circles back to that. Peak's been very, very underrated on the back end. Aspero slides in 12, 13 games, takes just a nasty stick off the face, jumping ahead of schedule here, but the guy was going stride for stride with Barzal, and pretty, I don't know, nonchalant game, throwaway game night before Thanksgiving, but thought it was a good effort on by the boys on the back end. Those are kind of some of the takeaways on my end. Not sure what you guys had jotted down there.
Yeah, I honestly I haven't really picked up on Aspero's game like too much, which is probably a good sign. It's because like nothing's like super glaring, which is good. I mean, it was the Alex Steves game. That was a big note for me. Like, just an unbelievable game. Like, especially for him, he's probably teetering between Providence and the Bruins. Like, even when he's up there the entire time, so to get some security and like show that he can play in with the big club, I think was probably huge for him and huge for the team. I mean, he was on first line last night, the night before, so they obviously see some see some legs with him staying with the Bruins for the rest of the year. But I mean, the first goal by Barzal was disgusting.
Sick.
I don't know
Nasty.
if no one's saving that. That's just an insane goal. So, but I thought it was a good game. To your point, Dave, throwaway game.
Yeah,
PK,
Steve's is unbelievable. I mean, he again, thank you, Toronto, but
Oh
he is
my
an
God,
NHL player.
I know.
and to not to circle back on a point you made, BCam, about Aspro, you don't notice them. The best defensemen are the ones that you just don't know. Like, you don't want to notice a defenseman unless they're like an offensive or like they're really driving the play. They're a McCaw or a McAvoy, one of those type of guys. Just if he's not being noticed, he's doing his job out
Dave,
there.
would you compare him to kind of like an Andrew Peak? Just sturdy in his own end, doing the
Yeah,
dirty
I
work?
would say Peak's a step above an Aspro type of guy,
Sure.
but for a guy to come in who hasn't played in the National League, this is his first sniff and he's getting a shot. He's making a very compelling statement for him to stick around.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
he's playing his offside too, and they're kind of moving
oh,
him
it's a good wrinkle.
across. So it's good to see that. And then the other point about the Alex Steve show, friend of the program, Mark Allred, had we were going back and forth on Twitter, and
He's a good follow.
good
Great
follow.
follow.
He was just saying that he impressed Sturm off the bat in training camp, and Sturm came out, I think it was a week or two ago. He might have even talked about this, and he trusts Steves in his game, and that's why he's putting him in these situations. And he's good off the puck. He's fighting the soft areas, and would it be nice to see him bear down and bury a few more of his opportunities? Yeah, but it's gonna come. Like him and Peak, the Notre Dame connection. Like let these guys eat out there.
I know. I know. One thing I do want to call out, and I have no numbers on this, so take this with a grain
Make
of
one up.
salt. Make one out. So if you look at after every game, there's obviously the box score. Shots from the D are very limited. Like we're just not seeing pucks through. And I don't know if that's just like their game plan where they're missing the net on purpose and looking for a good bounce or something
Tough
like
game
that.
plan.
But yeah, it's like Aspro and Peak, they're awesome. Peak blocks some shots that are like jarring. When like watching it on TV, you're like, ooh, like you can almost like feel it through the TV, which obviously you need on the D core, but would just love to see some more shots from the point. Like we're not the most skilled team. I would probably say we're probably one of the least skilled teams on paper, and I would love to just get a little bit more shots from the point and more goals from the dirty area. But
I,
that's
th- I
there's
think
no
we just need
stats
the
to back
Garden
that.
yelling pucks on net. Like we just don't get enough shots. We were outshot
Shoot.
40-14
Yeah,
against
that's
the
also a really good
Islanders.
point. Yeah,
Come on, and we
that's a
win the
good
game.
point.
Swayman's
Which
possessed,
usually
but
is the other way around for Islanders games,
Yeah,
where the Islanders are playing the boring hockey, but we were just surviving
they're a
at
different
yeah.
that.
team
The
this year with
Islanders are a
Schaefer.
snooze fest. They're a complete snooze fest, and Schaefer's a problem. He's a complete problem. So
He's sick.
they got a really good one. They seem to capitalize on their first round draft picks. But anyways,
A
but
1-1 overall. I mean, unless you're taking
yeah,
Nail Yakupov, you can't
yeah, that's true.
really
That's true.
you can't
That's a good
really
point.
argue with that.
But I thought the whole game was good, and it was good to like just grab that win before like the next. I mean, 3 games in a row of. I mean, I don't know, playoff teams. Islanders, I guess, on the brink or right on the cusp of entering that area. But I was expecting
Tough
more for
Friday game.
I was expecting more for the Friday game.
The Friday game, Corby, 7 out of 10 games giving up a goal in his first few shots. 7 out of 10. If it happens once
Yeah.
or twice, all right, buddy. Like, I don't know, maybe like mix it up, like get ready. But 7 out of 10. What do you do? Like, do we have a different pregame meal? Do we maybe go back to making this guy like getting dress code before the game? Like he's got to dial it in. And then he's
I
pulling these saves out of his ass like later on in the game. It's like you couldn't just like stop the one coming like right over your pad to start the game. Not a goalie guy over here, but mix one in.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys remember a few years ago when it was Halak and Tuca? And it seemed like every time Halak was in the net, it was 2-1 games, 1-0 games, 3-2 games, super low scoring defensive battles. And then when Tuca would come in, they were just playing loose, high scoring games, 4-goal games. It was strange. Kind of gives me the same vibes here now. but it's reverse with Swayman being the starter and Corpo not, being the main guy, like the Hawk in this scenario that I'm laying out. But I guess it's encouraging if, they're going to step up and play harder defensively. I don't even know if that's the case, but at least allow less goals for Swayman than, they're gonna for Corpo, because ideally Corpo's not getting the lion's share of the starts. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's a worse thing, but it's
Yeah.
definitely
No,
concerning.
it's an interesting take. I also yeah, Corpo probably should have saved a few of those, but the Bruins the most penalized team in the league. That's a problem. That's a straight up issue. And
Big time.
there's a lot of the times where I'm a homer watching the games and I'm like, that shouldn't have been a penalty. What are the penalties right now from one team to the next for this game? And the Bruins always seem to be in the red there, which obviously stinks to see. But I mean, that game was just like that. I mean, I think they had 3 power play goals, at least 2 at the bare minimum, and it's hard because I mean they have Zibanejad, they have Panarin, they have Fox, they have Trocheck. Like those are some heavy guys that you don't want to see them ripping the biscuit from anywhere on the ice. So it's like I don't know. We put them in pretty bad spot.
And well, Berube had a pretty interesting take. Berube, no, Bones, sorry, on the TNT broadcast. Jeez, buddy. He was like, they're just taking a bunch of stick penalties. And
Yeah.
that's what they are. High stick, just lazy sticks or taking long shifts and not really controlling it. And that's what kills you. If you're taking stupid penalties like game after game after game and they're just funneling into the penalty box, you got guys not playing who should be playing. They're probably I don't know, a little pissed off about playing time, right? Corrali's
For sure.
playing, he's playing 10, 15 minutes a night, majority on the kill. He's doing a great job doing it, but just stay out of the box. Like
Yeah.
Sturm's he's gotta be pissed about it. There's no way you can't be.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good penalty when it's taken in like the right context, right? Where
Totally.
it's like someone's running someone in front of the net. Like I don't mind them taking out and getting a match penalty there, as long as like they're showing that they're sticking up for their teammate or letting the other team know like that we're not going to just back down and sit there and take it. So I don't know. It goes
Zadorov's
back
good
and
for
forth,
those.
but like to your point, Dave, I heard him say that on the broadcast too, and I also think they're extending their forwards. Their ice time is high. Like Geeky's nearing 20 minutes, which he should be, but like that's a lot for a forward. Like there's not a lot of 20-minute guys a night for NHL forwards unless you're McKinnon, Eichel, McDavid, etc.
No, but we also had half of the Providence Bruins playing Friday with no Pasta, no Zaka. If you want to generate offense, you got to put your dogs out there. But they called up the Merkulov, or however you
Yeah,
say his last name. He's kind of invisible, right? But they put him
yeah,
on the off wing. Did Lascelles piss someone off to the infinite degree where he just doesn't get a sniff? Is he too soft? Because I like how they're calling up these guys and they're putting them in. We talked about this in the last pod in the right situations. Like you're not going to call up Merck and put him on the fourth line.
no,
You're gonna put him in a spot where he can succeed. But like I don't know, maybe we keep kind of tapping the well because this is a rant later on, but we're exploring options for right wingers. Do we need Sherwood? Do we need Garland? I don't know. Like, give some of these guys a shot.
I don't think they make a trade like that this year, at least. I know the free agency is pretty lackluster
Stinks
come the
out
summer,
loud.
but I've been off the Lysell bandwagon for quite some time now. I've been calling him a bust for, maybe 2 years after they drafted him, just from some things that I've heard from a personal standpoint. I don't want to attack a guy's personal character, but, he wasn't very mature from my understanding a few years ago, and that kind of affected his on ice performance and kind of how he was treating himself as a pro. Again, this is just one source that I was hearing it from. So I've been calling him a bust. I thought they should have traded him a while ago. And we got friggin' the Boston Medical Center Bruins, like you've been saying, Dave. And the fact that he's not getting a sniff, I think that says something. Because Sturm
yeah,
doesn't seem like he holds any grudges or anything. I mean, look at Beecher. He gave Beecher a fair shot. He said, thought he's going to be better, wasn't. See you later. I don't think there's any, you know, like I said, grudge towards Lysell. So I do think it's just performance based. I don't think he has what it takes to be an NHLer.
Yeah, there's a
He's
few
only
things there too, like with Mark Leach, or no, I'm sorry, Jay Leach, who's the assistant coach of the Bruins now. He was the head coach of Providence last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had Lysell. So he's obviously got hopefully someone in his corner that's going to vouch for him when they start discussing up and down moves. I think he's the D coach though, so obviously he probably isn't sitting in on all those meetings. But to your point, he's still young, so I still hold out hope. I think he's 21. I don't even think he's 22 yet. So I mean, his goal the other night was, I mean, talking about top
Sick.
10 sports center, like it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. So I thought that would um I thought that would open up a spot for him at the very least. Maybe not just the goal exclusively, but I thought it was definitely adding to his already successful season. But Dave, to your point about the trades and thinking about getting a scoring winger, I looked into the Bruins draft picks coming up for the next couple of years, and they have 2 first-rounders for the next 2 years, plus Lysell, if they wanted to have a trade chip in there. I don't think the kid Kiefer Sherwood is worth what I'm seeing online. But if things start to open up and there's players available, like throw them Florida's first rounder. I think it's 2026 or 2027. They're going to be a wagon for the next 10 years. So it's like, get rid of that. Throw in Lysell, throw in Merkulov, give them like a new scenery and just see what happens. But they do have some chips in there, especially with some of the prospects like Zellers, Hagens, and um, Dean from BC. Like they have some guys that could fill the pipeline pool.
Tage Thompson 2.0.
Yeah,
Honestly,
exactly.
he's been buzzing, but Lysell has only played 12 games for the Bruins. That's not a big enough sample size,
No,
in my opinion. Like, give the kid one more sniff in Sturm system, and if it pans out, cool. If not, like you said, BCAM, another chip we can throw in. Well, because we have the pipeline of untouchables. Hagen, Zellers, Big Dean, can't touch those
Big
guys.
Dean.
I saw some clown from Vancouver was like, bring Minton home, like send Garland and for Minton in a first, like, buddy,
Send Garland back to Situate.
touch grass, yeah, touch grass.
Yeah, that's not happening. But it's good to see. I saw Zellers. Zellers is, I think he's got,
oh my God,
what was it,
He's
9
legit.
goals, and
he can shoot the hell out of the puck.
He's got 9 goals in 14 games, 13 points in 14 games
they're
as a
like
true freshman.
They're like big time goals too.
Yeah, they're not against like St. A's. Like they're like truly like they're truly
not garbage
like
time either.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not playing Tuesday at 7:00 at the Ice Den.
No.
Well, kind of wrapping up here, and then also I guess looking ahead, Detroit, Geeky, and Swayman.
I missed a lot of the game. I was at a wedding, so I caught latter half of the third in overtime. So I mean, I saw the Kastelek fight. I mean, he beat the brakes off of Sider.
BCAM, when you're at the wedding, what is your go-to bees watching move?
So I don't stream. It's box score checks when you go to the bathroom.
Oh, you're respectful.
Yeah, I try and lock it in.
Nice, that's very nice of you.
Yeah, but like it definitely dawned on me. Like I saw the clock and it was like 7:30, 7:40, and I was like, I gotta run to the bathroom and just see how everything's going.
It is like game 36 in November.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah. So
but you have to do your homework. You can't come on unprepared.
And I didn't want to be like on like a Barstool page with like someone like stream like watching me like watch a Bruins with game 36 of the Bruins. Yeah.
But if it's playoffs though, and you're at a wedding, what are you doing?
I think I still have to just do box score. I would have a hard time streaming. Yeah. I don't think I could ever do that.
So 2 years ago when they were playing the Leafs in the first round, it was game 2 at TD Garden, and one of Bailey's roommates from college was getting married. And I was, being a good soldier, didn't say anything about it. But when we got to dinner, the phone came up and like I was looking over and there was the groom's like best friends from home, this table of 12 guys. They all had their phones up watching the game. So like I just got up and went over there. It's like, boys, let's go. It's just immediate friends were like, yeah, let's go. Like I think Carlos scored while we were watching in the first, and we got so jacked up. It was unbelievable.
It was probably nice to know you had some other guys doing the same exact thing. So
oh my God.
You weren't isolated there.
Absolutely.
Weren't the lone wolf. Hey, well, at least you tuned in. You just didn't
Yeah, it
want to
was a
leave
good
the
ending.
boys high and dry when you're showing up here on Sunday night. You'd had
Yeah,
just come prepared.
but I mean, Castlick, that was a complete beatdown. Like I can't even that last right hook with like the picture you sent, Mikey, of like he's not his eyes are so wide and he's just got that thing cocked, like ready
You
to
could
hit him.
feel that thing
That
through
was
the
insane.
TV.
I'd
Yes,
shit
that was
myself.
insane. And then Sider's a big dude. He's not a small guy, so it's like that's even if he's not as big of a fighter as Kaslik is, it's still a big beatdown. So thought that was cool. Definitely didn't like seeing Rasmussen score with like a minute 50 left. Like you could feel it brewing, but they were able to grab the win, which is huge.
The Ford Final Five. Every time. Every time. Earlier in the game, though, Judd dropped a line. He said the Bruins are the worst first period team in the league. Super reassuring to hear as we started that game. Thanks for that. But other than Geeky just taking over and Swayman just being a man possessed, it wasn't like the best game to watch, wasn't the worst game. There was a little bit of jam. Thank God they turned it on. I mean, the roof, I think Brick said it, the roof would have exploded if Geeky scored in the shootout. Like,
Oh my
it would
God.
have went completely nuts, but
Yeah.
God, is middle stat smooth. Like,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I'm not here for the slander on Middlestad. I actually like his game. I think he's like good for the Bruins right now. And I think he comes at a pretty low cap hit considering what he's probably good for 40 to 60 points a year. And he's a legit like some of these numbers on the shootouts percentage wise are staggering. Like Patty Kane is I think he's like 47% over like
Yeah.
120 attempts. Like that's insane.
not comparing to Patty Kane, but similar coming down, super good hands in tight, can move it quick. He's got, I mean, the guy's got, I think he jotted it down for one of the games, the Rangers game. So it could be different, but going into the Rangers game, 10 points, 16 games.
That's all you can really ask
That's
for.
respectable.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
respectable.
I still think he gets dealt at the deadline. I got a feeling about Middlestat. I don't think he's a Bruin. It's just something about him. I can't really put my finger on it other than just Bruins guy watching Bruins for the past 20 years or whatever.
You mean since 2008? We can talk about that later.
2008, yeah.
Were you just not a fan between 95 and 2008?
Buddy, I was like 8 years old.
Well, I don't know. Like, did you root for the Canadians or someone? Nesson
No,
was a
as a
thing.
fan, but like I'm not like checking the newspaper of like who scored last night and who did we beat.
You didn't turn on Nesson when you were young before school and be like, oh, the Bees.
I didn't even know how
the
to work
Bees.
a remote, buddy. What are you talking about? Why am I getting
2008 is not that long ago.
I had a
You were like,
We were like 12.
I was playing
12, yeah.
Madden 07 on GameCube for as long as I could remember. And then all of a sudden when I put that down and saw the Bruins playing, I was like, oh, these guys are actually fun to watch. Like, I'll get into this. I would say Bruins adjacent. And then
I'm surprised your dad and your brother didn't pull you into the living room to watch the games.
we would watch games, but
Yeah.
we're not like I said, I mean, I'm not, following off-season trades at that point.
It was that one
could barely
lone
even
night at
read.
Chelsea Hetherington's house or whatever her name is that turned you
Yeah,
into.
I caught some flack for that.
Yeah, I saw that. Unnecessary.
No, stick to your guns.
Unnecessary.
We back you.
That's the truth.
Hey,
We don't
but-
lie here. We just lie about stats.
but I actually do like Middlestad's game. You can see him trying to make little quick passes through the neutral zone that the guy realistically should be in that spot where they're cutting up ice, and he's good below the dot, but I think he needs to be paired with the right guys, and we don't have enough guys to pair him with. Like he should be with like a Pastrnak and Zaka or some combination of the two, but they need to be with another guy that's different than Middlestad. They need a guy that's going to go into the corners and get the puck, and he's just not that guy. So I don't know.
agree. You put him with like a Steves maybe, or someone
Yeah.
with a motor like that, and get a little gritty and find some space.
Maybe
No, you don't break up
Minton.
the third line.
That third line's excellent.
It's excellent, but I wouldn't like Minton is probably at the point where he deserves some second line minutes at some point, just to see what he can do.
Little plug and play.
I mean, devil's advocate though, let him play with the big boys. He's got protection. No one's gonna start running him, and he can kind of do his thing. And then when he gets a
Yeah.
chance on odd man opportunities, man up, or overtime. Let him kind of show
I
what he's
love
got.
how Sturm just dishes the young guys out too in overtime.
It's great.
He just lets them run. It's
Let him
awesome.
cook.
Yeah, that first unit. Who was it? It was Kastelik. Who else was out there? Was it Zadorov and maybe there was one other? I think it was like one of our higher skilled forwards, but it was definitely like a pairing that I had never seen before in 3-on-3. Where I was
It's
like,
funny.
holy, yeah, no, but I
He
think
just hits the blender and throws them out there.
it's almost just like it's like a different chess move where I think like the other coach is like, wait a minute, what is he trying to do here? You know what I mean? So, but I mean, it works, and like I have to remind myself we're doing this without Arvidsson, we're doing this out without McAvoy. We're missing like some big guys for us. So I think it's all positive signs.
I agree. I mean, even looking ahead here, we'll probably drop this Monday or Tuesday before the next Detroit game. There'll probably be some leftover jam going into it. Curious to see what the BMCBs draw up with from the lineup
PMCB.
perspective. Who's in, who's out, and kind of stay up to date. But anything looking ahead before we wrap with some rants and some bear leaving.
I did see McAvoy skated on his own, which
Big
is
news.
huge. It's obviously
sure.
not not an injury that you want to see happen to him, but the fact that he can still physically move around and like is able to maintain his cardiovascular is huge. The other thing too, like housekeeping items, I did see that the Bruins hosted Cam Schlittler, the pitcher from the Yankees, when he was talking about when he's tweeting at the Bruins. So I thought that was a nice little move by the Bruins.
He is a Boston boy. We own him.
Well, he owned us.
He owned us.
Yeah, no, that
Accurate.
guy, he absolutely
Accurate.
dummied us.
He put a clinic on a clinic. Can't talk.
Yeah.
Mike, anything looking ahead to Detroit before we get into some rants?
No, kind of an interesting schedule, I'd say, for the whole next week. We got Detroit again for the second time, and then we play the Blues 2 times, 4 days apart or something.
Monty.
So, yeah, the return of Montgomery. I think it should be a good chance here for the Bees to pick up a decent chunk of points, at least 4, hopefully.
I hear
Yeah, but I think the Blues are going to ultimately put Kyrou on the block at some point. I'm interested to see what he would get in return, or what the Blues would get in return. So something I'm going to keep an eye on these next couple of weeks, because I think the Bruins have some assets that they could get a Kyrou, and he would be massive for us.
Huge speed, what we need, right shot.
Yeah, 20, 30 goals.
Yeah,
Be great.
automatic. Still is. Layup. All right. Who wants to rant number 1 of the evening?
Lead us off, Dave.
Well, I kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit, trading for Sherwood or Garland.
Yeah,
We don't need to be doing something like that at this stage of where we are. We really can't afford to be giving up assets. We're pretty loaded in the prospect pool. Why are we going to go get another third liner when we have 37 of them? And just to plug them in on the second line, give these younger guys a shot. So that was mine. Kind of aired it out a little bit earlier. So I'll turn it over whoever's next here.
I would love to cut off this pipeline, or this trade bridge between us and Vancouver. Like I just don't think that we're seeing any return ever. So I agree with you, Dave. Not really a ton of rants on my end. I would love to see more from Elias Lindholm. I think I love having him on the Bruins, but I think like we need like at least a half a point per game from him in order to compete. And then my boy Murat, been a little quiet the last couple games, but looking forward to seeing him get back into action. But that's pretty much about it. I mean, I like where the team's at right now for what's taken place over the last 2 or 3 months, especially injury wise.
Agreed.
Henry Jokiharju, LTIR, a little bit of addition by subtraction in that aspect, in my opinion. I'd like to see Frederick Brunet get called up. I like the Callahan kid that comes up,
Same.
Franklin boy. They like bringing him up a lot. I know they've brought Sweezy up in the past, but I would really like to see this Brunet kid come out, especially if it's Jokiharju's game is supposed to be offensive. Brunet could kind of bring that element too. So hopefully Sturmy brings him up, gets him on the Sturm wagon.
If we're that shorthanded and guys are dropping like flies, give these guys a shot. The only
Right,
way
no,
we're
I
gonna,
agree. I know.
the only way we're gonna figure out is if they can cut or not is if you throw them into the fire. Give them a
And
chance.
it's a telling sign when I saw that the Carolina Hurricanes tweeted out that Brandon Bussey is, I think, 6-1 in his last 7. And they already, I think his nickname is the bus driver. He's already got a sweet nickname. And
Sick.
it's like you're staring there and you're like, we had him. He would have been huge for a backup goaltending position between him and Swayman. And he probably comes at a pretty low cap hit. So we probably could have saved some dollars on him between him and Corpusalo. But it's to your points about just giving the young guys a chance. Like that's a case in point where like we need to give more of a shot to these guys because they could turn out to be great.
Yeah, I hear you. And not to
Agreed.
belabor the rant here, if Corby keeps doing what he's doing, hopefully he turns it around. But we can get some
Yeah.
money off the books. There's 2 studs in Providence, and then there's another one at Providence College, Svedbecker, butchering his
Yeah.
name.
Philip
Apologies to that
Svedbeck.
guy.
I feel like he's been at PC for 8 years.
Hey, transfer portal or whatever it
I
is. You
know.
just keep redshirting or
A
whatever.
lot of guys go to college for 9 years.
10 degrees.
Yeah, they're called doctors.
Shout out Vez. All right, well, scale of 1 to 37, do something new here. Where are you on the rating for the bear leave meter? Mike?
25 in honor of Brandon Carlo because I need the
Okay.
Leafs to do a little bit better. I think they're sitting at the 5 spot in the draft right now. So
Yeah,
I'm liking what the team is doing. I really am.
who thought we would be in a position where we're asking the Leafs to do better just to get a higher draft pick so we don't fall into the protected area?
Crazy. But I love it. The Leafs, we need them to do a little bit better, though.
Yeah. I'm probably right around the 25 to 30 range, Timmy T. I really like the team. I think that like my only thing for the entire season is that they play a playoff style hockey right now, but we're in game 36. That's daunting to watch, but I swear if they can get into the playoffs, they're a team that's already been playing this way for at that point 82 games. So I think they can be dangerous, but they just need to get some guys healthy and they need some guys from Providence to step up. But I like the team.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 22, Shawnee Thornton. Kind of where we're at right now. They're giving us a lot to get excited about. It's fun when Geeky is just doing what he's doing. Love watching that. It sucks that these guys are dropping like flies. Direct correlation with the schedule. It's just insane. Just the quantity of hockey that's going on right now. I've been saying it, the BMC Bruins. It's just you want to get excited, and then these guys drop, and we're just kind of flailing. But when you have
holding
Swayman,
their own.
Yeah, and when you have Swayman doing his thing and making a case to call me crazy, starter if Hellebuck's not back for the Olympic team, right? He's playing like a man possessed, so they're fun to watch and not fully sold at the Bergie number here on the Bear Leave meter, but I don't know, maybe we'll get there.
Hopefully.
All right, boys, any other closing thoughts before we wrap?
No, I'm good on my end. Excited for the week.
I'm good. Good show, boys.
Right on. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in here. Really appreciate you letting us enter your ear waves. Tune in. We'll drop next week here. Check us out. Same seats on Twitter, same seats on Instagram. Try to keep it fun, frisky on Twitter, and engage and let us know what you think.
Unreal.
See you, boys.
Peace.